Today, we're going to be looking at AEO, and this is such a popular conversation and topic right now in the industry. A lot of brands, a lot of business owners are trying to get their website optimized for AEO and for these AI searches. So, what I've done is I've gone right into ChatGPT and asked it a query. Now, you can do this for your brand, whatever niche you're in, you can put in more information, get a detailed starting point to help you get up and running with this. But today, we're going to be looking at a kitchenware brand, look at some of the suggestions ChatGPT gives us, and then I'm also going to give some of my personal ideas. If I was working with your brand as a kitchenware brand, how I would approach certain things and how we would get you up and running. So the first thing, I like how they immediately get into content. So um, content can be done in multiple different ways. So you'll notice how it'll give you like kind of questions to that you can make content about, like what size frying pan, what's the difference. Now this can be done in two ways. The first thing that comes to mind is, of course, blog posts. So you as a brand putting out blog posts answering these questions that potential customers would be asking on these different AI tools. And for like a kitchenware brand, this is such an easy win here, because most people, when they have a question like this, what size frying pan, it's like a specific question that they might not go to Google. They might just go on ChatGPT or one of these AI tools and just ask it real quick. So this is where you as a brand can come in. If you have this kind of content built in, um, you're going to show up for this search result. And then another side note, you'll notice, for instance, this question here: what size frying pan do I need for a family of four? You can also create multiple types of content for this. So for instance, let's say you have either an article or some type of query answering this question. You can do family of four, family of three, family of five, family of six. So now you're knocking out multiple types of requests that customers might be asking for, just increasing the chances that your brand actually shows up for this. So of course, the first method here is targeting with blog posts, but also you can do this throughout your website as well. For instance, on your PDPs, your product pages, you can enter these type of questions in product descriptions. You can answer them in your FAQs. You notice it even says here FAQs, Q&A sections, guides, comparison articles. So you don't only have, this is not limited just to blogs. You want to really get this in as many areas on your website as possible. So that's why it's nice to be able to audit your site and have a list of where can we actually implement these wins. Of course, we have blog articles, but can we implement these on our PDPs? Can we implement these on our various pages that we may have, like buyer guides, or maybe FAQs throughout the website, Q&A sections, maybe even on collection pages at the bottom. We can find a way to answer these questions. So as it mentions here, these AI tools are looking for answers to these questions. So if we can look at your website and find as many ways to target this as possible, we're just increasing the amount of wins for your brands. And so really, really cool stuff here. Again, use your brand to get more specific questions or more specific um, tips here from ChatGPT, but it is really cool things that you really want to look at your brand and see where you can make optimizations. The next thing here, again, I really like is, again, going to more of this Q&A thing. So you could even, and the thing I like about it is it's giving you actionable ideas that you can directly take this, go to your Shopify site, make a section, implement this information, and get up and running in the next 10-15 minutes after watching this video. So really helpful information here. So for instance, again, you're a kitchenware brand, you might ask a question here: is this pan induction compatible? Yes, this pan works in induction, gas, electric, and ceramic cooktop. So you're directly answering these questions on your page that customers may be asking. And this is useful in two ways. One, for the LMMs and these AI tools to actually cite, but then also when customers come to your website, these might be questions in the back of their mind. Many websites might not answer these questions, but you as a brand, if you're actually able to answer some of these questions here on these different pages, now you're just helping the customer to relieve some of these pain points and questions that they may be asking for. Again, you're including this directly on your website here on your product page. So again, really useful both for the LLMs, but then also making the shopping experience useful for your customers as well. So really, really cool here. I also like the idea of comparison content. Now, this can be done in multiple ways as well. So, of course, first thing comes to mind is creating an article, like a cast iron versus carbon steel, ceramic versus non-stick cookware, just creating articles. But you could, again, implement this on your PDPs. Maybe you have comparison content on your PDPs. Maybe you sell cast iron and carbon steel products. So maybe if you have like a bundle or somewhere on the collections page or even under PDPs, you have a section built in with this side by side comparison here. Again, and then when you have this comparison, maybe you bring in some of these questions again. So there's so many cool ideas when it comes to AI. Really, just looking at your website and where can we implement wins. The website has a lot of hidden wins inside. You just have to audit your website, find where you can implement some of these ideas, then find the right questions and the right information and the right content to put on there. And again, this will really work. So really useful things here. I also like this idea of here of pulling some previously asked questions that customers have mentioned, whether support tickets or even on social media. Maybe customers are or potential customers or people just watching your videos, interacting with your content, things that they may be asking there. Maybe somebody on a TikTok video, somebody asks, "Will this oven work here?" Right? You just take that question and then you answer it, on a blog or on an FAQ on a product page, and then you can repurpose it again, helping the LLMs, but then also helping customers with the questions that they may be asking. So there's a lot of ideas here when it comes to how you can actually um, get your website up and running for AEO. This is still a relatively new topic, so a lot of brands are still kind of worrying about how not worrying, but interested in how to implement this into their brand. So if this is something that you're interested in, you want to get up and running with this, but you're not really sure how to do it, how to proceed, feel free to reach out. This is something that we're getting really deep into. These past couple of months, it's a really interesting, really cool topic to be able to see the different wins that we can implement and how we can actually get that information, out there in this helpful content. So if this is something that you'd like to implement, please feel free to reach out. Send us an email. We'll be glad to take a look at your website and see how you can actually get set up in this AEO LLM era that we're in. Feel free to take a look at the reviews, what other customers have said, and some of the cool products that we're working on. But once again, I wanted to make this video to share with you some ideas that you can use as a Shopify merchant to get you up and running with AEO, and to be able to actually answer some of these questions that the LLMs are going to cite from, and then also that customers are asking. So again, if you have any questions at all about how this works, how to implement it, please feel free to reach out, and I hope this video was helpful.